Good morning. Our hand today is going to be pocket tens. This is a 10 NL game, and much like yesterday's hand, our mid-position player open raises to 2 big blinds. Unlike that hand, we only have 6 hands on this villain, so it's kind of tough to determine what he's doing this with. I do have a note on here: limp and call to raise Queen 10 suited. So Queen 10 suited might be a limp. King 10's probably also a limp. And I would suspect like Jack 10 suited and suited connectors are also limp. So I basically have very similar ranges I did yesterday, where our hands are going to be pretty strong for this player. I set 50%, 50% on these, just to kind of, and I say 50% because of that 2 big blinds. Maybe he limps, maybe he actually raises bigger with those hands, and then these other hands that aren't like super premium, he's only raising it to 2. So when he bets here, it's on me. I'm going to still use the MP tight range. I think he's going to be overly tight, overly strong, so I'm going to be playing this as my call. I'm really going to be looking at those mid cards on the flop. That's what I'm really going to be hoping for. If it comes, high cards, he's going to have me have the equity edge and the nut advantage on me. Whereas the smaller cards, I don't think he's going to have like trip 9s, trip 8s, trip 7s. I think I have trip 9s on there, but he's not going to have those. He's not going to have like one pair type hands in his range. So I called. And again, usually if I start noticing that this player is occasionally makes these 2 big blind bets, and then he has like a standard raise size of 3.5, I would probably just go ahead and raise this with all of them, because I think the 2 big blinds giving away that he doesn't really have a premium hand. But here I just called, which I think is okay. Both blinds fold, and we see a flop of 9, 10, jack. So this actually looks like a good flop for us. It looks like a good flop because we flop trip 10s and we have a 10 of diamonds there. But I do think villain has his 10s, he has jacks, he has king queen in his range. And I'm not sure if I have king queen. Probably don't have king queen. I have 10s. I might have jacks. It's in my range. I do have king queen suited, but it represents pretty small. I don't have like the king queen offsuit like villain. So on this board, then villain checks, and the question is, what is he going to do that with? Would he check straights? Probably not. I think at that point, I'm pretty confident he doesn't have a straight. I think he probably doesn't have a set either. I think an overpair top pair is gonna be worried about betting. I think, and then he's gonna have all of those cards. So I think he's kind of weak here. Maybe he has some draws, but I think overall, I don't think he flopped the straight once he checked. Now I could be wrong. We could bet, and then he could raise us, and at that point, once he raises us, we could say, well, you must have that straight. So he checks. Now what do we do? Do we bet? Do we fire? I'm not sure if this is a great... We're looking for middle cards, but I almost feel like this is a little too high. I think we're going to be called a lot, which I guess is okay. So I think if we bet our straight, if we bet our set, if we bet our 2 pair for value, I think we could bet our top pair for value. Then I think we're also going to be betting our flush draw, our open ender, probably our gut shot. And we're about 2 to 1 on bluffs to values. I'm not sure if I'd go for bluffs on middle pair. For the bottom pair, I guess we do, because those are all Those look like gut shots. Minus the ace. It's like the king nine's a gut shot. Like yeah, all of the kings. I mean, we catch a queen, we're good. So the queens are open enders. So yeah, I think we could probably bet. We could probably bet three, half pot, maybe. I do expect we're going to be getting called a bit. I checked here, and I'm not sure why. Maybe I'm thinking maybe he could slow play that king queen. I think that's his range, and then our range, going forward is would I have really checked the straight? I don't think so, but I do know I just checked the set. I think this is a mess up. I think I should have been betting here. I should be betting here. So then let's get this right. I think since I'm betting all those, I think we're gonna go with that. So maybe I decided to kind of check the top pair and the middle pair and all these draws to kind of see if I could get equity. Maybe, yeah, I'm not sure about that. I'm not sure about that. So the turn was the ace of diamonds. That is not my favorite, but I don't think this completed a flush. If it completed the king, the diamond flush, then villain probably had king queen of diamonds. That means he would have had the straight. So diamond gets there, the ace gets there. Turn, villain bets 2.7. We need 25% equity. What is he betting here? I kind of excluded the straight. I think he could have the set. He could have two pair. He could have top pair. Don't really think he's gonna have this pocket pair below the top card. Kings or queens. I don't think he would have bet those. I don't think he would have bet the middle pair. Maybe he has the flush draw now, nut flush. And maybe the second nut flush draw. I don't think he really has the open enders. So I think we're just looking at this. And I think that's actually pretty good because we have those hands beat other than the set of aces. So I think definitely we're going to be calling. I think for us, we're going to probably have to call top pair, but I think the top pair with that ace five is probably just going to be a fold because we don't really have any other draw. So I think we've got our flush. We actually probably raise our flush. I think that's going to be a raise. Let's see here. That's going to be a raise, and I bet then our two pairs going to be a raise. I think our open-ended straight draw could still be possibly a call. Let's see what that is. 17%. I'm just not liking it too much. Maybe just in terms of the queen jack, maybe our top pair type. And well, it's not a top pair anymore. Maybe something like that. We're going with two pair for the call, open ended straight for the call, because I think we would be raising a bit more. And then the eight of clubs gets there, so the straight gets there. Villain checks us at this point. I think he is pretty weak. I don't think he's got the straight. Maybe he has a set two pair top pair. I think we're looking at something like that, where two pairs are going to be most likely. Top pairs next. I again exclude the straight, so the 55%. If I bet, I think he's probably calling. Maybe the top pair and the two pair. So he's calling 52% of the time. He's folding 48. Actually, about 47%. That's 53. And I think at this point we probably just bet all of our range here. and you can see that we would have connected. We don't really have bluffs because of how it's played. And I had checked. I think even with the tens, we should probably go ahead and be betting here and try to get some value from like two pair. Yeah, it's scary that he could easily have the queen, but I kind of think the queens would have been betting, the straights would have been betting. So he shows 5-6, which is actually pretty weak. I don't have that in his range at all. So we need to at least get notes down on this player. And that kind of changes things. Knowing that he has these weaker hands in there, when he checks, he's got a lot of weaker hands. And then on the turn, I don't mind calling then because he's just taking a stab. He's not going to call with any hands that like a 5-6. He's not going to call that anymore. You know, it was basically one and done. So why risk raising and getting called by hands that beat us when we could just call and see what he does on the river? When he checks on the river, we know we're good. So he raised first in 2 big blinds from MP with 6-5 of hearts. And then yeah, I think we're going to have to do in position check, bet 50%, and then check. And this was a jack of diamonds, 10 of spades, 9 of diamonds, ace of diamonds, 8 of clubs board. All right, so we ran that. Let us check GTO. So villain should be betting 65% of the time. He didn't. He checked. So if he checks and if he plays GTO, what do? Then we're betting. We're betting jacks. So top trips. Sometimes betting tens. We're betting our straight. Okay, I thought I was betting our straight, but I think it's appropriate to check somewhat with our tens. So that's not too bad. I still, I think, prefer a bet there. And then villain bets, so he's betting like basically his entire range, and we're at, you know, these are the calls or the raises. So king queens are raised, kind of assume that, and then we throw in some of our other raises. Queen 10, that's going to be our bluff. I bet that's with the queen 10 and diamonds. That's a flush. Okay, so queen 10, that's our flush, second nut flush. King high nut flush. So we're betting our raising our flushes, our straights, a couple of our sets. The 10, get 10 of diamonds because we've got some equity with that 10 of diamonds. No flush draw. 10-9 of hearts. Weak pair. Yeah, 8s with like the 8 of diamonds. Okay, I could see that. So we call, and then 8 of clubs falls, and then he checks, and he is overly weak, and we should be betting our 10s. Yeah. Yeah, even though say what kind of hands are going to call, only hands that beat us, I still think we missed some value here. So anyways, hopefully like this hand. If you did, look tomorrow for another one.